Hello, and welcome to Physics While Sleep. Tonight, we're going to float gently into the quiet rhythm of time itself. Not the kind of time that chases you with deadlines, alarm clocks, or unanswered emails, but the soft, patient time that drifts through space like a feather on a still pond. Perfect bedtime material. I should warn you, though, this story might be just a little too interesting. If it keeps you awake, I apologize. But if you do end up wide-eyed at 3 in the morning, imagining the seconds of your life stretching gently above the curve of Earth, at least you'll have a beautiful thought to keep you company. Before we begin, I invite you to settle in. Maybe you're already curled up in bed, or resting with a cup of tea nearby, or perhaps listening with your eyes closed as the day slows down. Take a deep breath. Feel your body sink into wherever you are. Let the world's noise grow distant. This little corner of the cosmos is just for you. Now, let's begin. Imagine yourself leaving Earth behind. You float higher and higher, past clouds, past the last traces of blue sky, until the world curves beneath you like a soft marble turning in the dark. You can see whole continents now, wrapped in swirls of white clouds. Cities sparkle like dust scattered across velvet. Everything feels impossibly still. And then you notice something subtle. Time itself feels different. Not because the seconds on your watch have changed, but because you have. Your body, drifting above the pull of Earth, has entered a new rhythm. Time is no longer the steady drumbeat you've known all your life. It is a soft tide, lapping slowly around you. Down below, the world keeps its own tempo. People move through their days. Traffic lights change. Trains run. Seconds fall like tiny pebbles into a river that never pauses. But up here, in this weightless cradle of orbit, your river flows just a little more slowly. Einstein called this time dilation. Time, he said, bends and stretches when gravity changes or when you move very fast. On Earth, you've always lived under its heavy pull. But now, drifting far above the surface, your seconds are just slightly longer. Your heart beats in the same rhythm, your breath rises and falls, and yet, compared to someone on the ground, you are aging just a fraction more slowly. Think of each second as a drop of rain. On Earth, the drops fall quickly into a pond, one after another. In space, the same drops float for just a moment longer, pausing in midair before they touch the water. That is your time now, gentle, unhurried, stretched like soft music. The space station hums quietly around you, its solar panels catching the sun. Every 90 minutes, you see a new sunrise. Golden light floods the cabin, then darkness returns as Earth's shadow wraps around you. Day and night race by below, but your body moves to its own slower rhythm, as if the universe has leaned in to whisper, "You are outside the usual flow now." It is such a small change that no human could ever feel it. And yet, physics knows. The universe knows. You are a quiet clock in the cosmos, ticking in a secret harmony with the stars. You close your eyes and let the thoughts settle into you like warm light. Time is not rigid. It can bend, soften, and cradle you. Out here, far from Earth's weight, you are gently stepping out of the usual river of life and floating into a slower current. And as your breathing evens out, you begin to sense the next truth forming, waiting like a soft shadow beyond the curve of your thoughts. That in space, your very life, moves just a little slower than the world you left behind. You are still floating, your mind and body wrapped in the gentle rhythm of space. The world spins below you like a patient clock, and yet, you feel as if you've stepped outside the ordinary march of time. Here, in orbit, time feels like a soft fabric stretched between your fingers. It is not broken. It is not gone. It is simply looser. You live in the same universe as everyone on Earth, yet your moments pass differently. On Earth, time is something you rarely question. It moves in its familiar rhythm. The sun rises, the sun sets, and the seconds flow one after another like beads on a string. But up here, beyond the heavy pull of gravity, you begin to notice the threads of that string bending. Imagine time as a river. On the ground, you are standing in the center of the current, the water rushing past in its usual way. But now, in the weightlessness of orbit, you have stepped into the slower edge of the stream. The water still moves, but it lingers around your ankles, curling softly as it goes by. Einstein's great gift to us was the understanding that time itself is not fixed. It bends to gravity in motion. Earth's gravity pulls on the seconds of your life, and your speed through the cosmos also leaves its quiet mark. The International Space Station circles the planet at over 17,000 miles per hour. To the eye, it looks serene, a floating home gliding through blackness, but speed is always there, invisible and steady. And that speed tugs at time. It tells your seconds to slow, just a little, as if the universe is gently pulling back the hands of your clock. The change is small, so small you would never feel it. Perhaps a fraction of a second difference in months of orbit. But space does not measure life in feelings. It measures in truths. And the truth is, up here, you are aging ever so slightly slower than the people you left behind. You think about that for a moment. On Earth, people are moving through their day, walking in parks, cooking dinner, scrolling through their phones, completely unaware that the seconds they feel as normal are moving just a little faster than yours. They are anchored to the ground, to the pull of gravity, to the current of ordinary time. You are not. Your body is a quiet clock now, ticking to the rhythm of the stars instead of the streets. You are part of a cosmic experiment without even trying. Your heart beats. Your breath flows. And the universe stretches your moments just enough to remind you that nothing is as rigid as it seems. Time here is not a drum, but a lullaby. It flows over you softly, like waves on a quiet shore. You feel safe in its rhythm, comforted by the thought that the cosmos has room for different kinds of seconds. As the station glides into Earth's shadow again, the sunlight fades, and your mind grows heavier. You feel the calm of orbit settling deeper into your chest. Your thoughts drift to a gentle question, one that feels like the beginning of a dream. If time can slow here, in this silent place, where else might it bend? And with that thought, you drift a little further into the quiet current of the cosmos, ready for the next chapter of your journey. You drift further into the silence, feeling the weight of the world loosen from your body and your mind. There is no up or down here, no floor beneath your feet, no ceiling above your head, just a soft endlessness, holding you like warm water in a still pool. The Earth spins far below, patient and steady, its gravity reaching for you even now. But up here, that grip is softer, like a hand holding you loosely instead of tightly. You are still tied to the planet, orbiting it in a graceful curve, but the heaviness of your life on the ground is gone. Floating beyond Earth's pull feels like a dream where your body has forgotten the meaning of weight. Your arms drift on their own. Your breath feels lighter, slower. Even your thoughts seem to move differently, stretching out like the long shadows of sunset. This is where the strangeness of time becomes more real. Gravity is not just the force that pulls apples from trees or keeps oceans in their place. It also tugs on time itself. Down below, the weight of the planet bends the flow of seconds. You never notice it because everything on Earth is moving together, every clock and heartbeat under the same gentle pressure. But here, floating farther from that pull, your seconds are a little freer. Imagine a dancer spinning at the center of a stage. The closer you are to them, the tighter the circle feels, the faster you move. But if you step to the edge of the stage, the motion is looser, slower, softer. That is what time feels like here, far above the densest part of Earth's gravity. Even the space station, with all its machines and panels, feels as if it is part of this floating dream. It circles the planet at tremendous speed, yet inside it, life is quiet. There is no rumble of engines, no roar of air. Just the soft whir of fans, the gentle click of instruments, and your own breathing joining the rhythm of orbit. As you look out the small window, Earth seems alive. Cities glimmer in the dark, rivers twist like silver threads, and storms swirl in white spirals across the oceans. You see the planet not as a place you walk on, but as a whole, fragile, glowing, endlessly turning. And in that view, a strange thought settles in: everyone you know is down there, moving faster through time than you are. Their lives are tied to the planet's weight, its pull on the seconds of their days. They walk, they speak, they laugh, all slightly ahead of you now, though no one could ever feel it. Floating beyond Earth's pull makes you feel separate and connected all at once. Separate, because you are in a world where clocks and weight and hurry do not exist. Connected, because everything you are and everything you feel is still tied to that turning planet below. Your body relaxes into this truth. Your hands drift slowly. Your eyes grow heavier. You could stay in this moment forever, wrapped in the soft arms of orbit, as time bends gently around you. And as you close your eyes for a breath, another thought drifts in, like a whisper from the stars themselves. If gravity can slow time, what happens when you move even faster? You drift in the soft cocoon of space, your body weightless, your mind calm. The Earth below is a luminous sphere, blue and white and alive with movement. You feel its presence not through sound or touch, but through an invisible pull, a hand that still holds you, even from this distance. That pull is gravity. It's easy to think of gravity as the thing that keeps your feet on the ground, the force that makes apples fall and oceans stay loyal to their shores. But out here, as you float in orbit, you begin to understand that gravity does much more than hold objects close. It bends the very fabric of time. On Earth, gravity presses gently on every second of your life. It stretches the river of time in subtle ways, so subtle that you cannot feel it. Every heartbeat, every blink, every tick of a clock is slightly shaped by the weight of the planet below. Up here, that weight is softer. Imagine time as a silk ribbon flowing over the Earth. Where gravity is strongest, the ribbon is pulled tight and moves faster. Where gravity is weaker, the ribbon loosens and drifts, moving just a little more slowly. Right now, your life is on that looser part of the ribbon. The difference is invisible, but it is real. Down on the surface, the people you love move through a slightly different rhythm. Their clocks tick just a fraction quicker than yours. Their seconds fall into the river of life with a slightly faster splash. Meanwhile, your seconds glide like leaves on calm water, unhurried and soft. The International Space Station circles Earth at a tremendous speed, and yet you feel none of it. There's no wind, no rumble, no sensation of motion. You only see the world drift by beneath you, a sunrise, an ocean, a continent, a night full of sparkling city lights. Each orbit reminds you of a quiet truth: you are still tethered to the planet, but lightly, like a balloon on the end of a long string. And in this gentle tether, gravity still has one last gift: it slows your aging, just a little. The universe keeps its promises in whispers. It tells you, through the bending of time, that even your body is now part of a softer, slower rhythm. The molecules in your skin, the blood in your veins, the beating of your heart, all of it moves in harmony with the gentler pull of the cosmos. You close your eyes for a moment and imagine this invisible connection. Earth is not just your home, it is a timekeeper, a patient conductor of your life's rhythm. Up here, in orbit, the conductor has lowered their hand, letting the music of your seconds stretch into long, calming notes. There is a comfort in knowing that gravity is not a chain, but a guide. Even as it releases its grip, it reminds you that time itself can bend, that life can move at different tempos, that the universe has many ways of telling the same story. You let your breath slow, feeling each inhale and exhale as if the air itself is moving through a longer, quieter moment. The soft hum of the station fades into the background. The earth turns. The stars keep their patient watch. And as you drift closer to the edges of sleep, another thought floats to the surface like a feather on still water. If gravity can bend time with a gentle touch, what will speed do? You float in the quiet, feeling the way space cradles your body as if you were a part of it now. The station hums softly around you, its machinery like the faint heartbeat of a sleeping creature. Outside the small window, the earth drifts slowly, impossibly beautiful. Clouds swirl like white brushstrokes. The curve of the horizon glows with the thin blue line of the atmosphere. And somewhere in this stillness, the seconds of your life are stretching. You cannot see them, of course. Time is invisible. But if you close your eyes and imagine it, you might picture each second as a tiny golden thread. On Earth, those threads fall quickly, one after another, weaving the fabric of your day in a tight, neat pattern. Up here, beyond the heavy pull of the planet, the threads are a little longer, a little looser, weaving a softer, more spacious cloth of life. This is the invisible stretch of seconds, the gentle elongation of your experience that comes from escaping the weight of Earth and moving so swiftly around it. Einstein's whisper is always with you in space: time and motion are connected. The faster you move, the slower time flows for you. Down on the planet, your family, your friends, everyone you love, they live in the faster current. Their seconds slip past a little more quickly than yours. The difference is tiny. A few fractions of a second after months in orbit. And yet, physics is patient. It doesn't need you to notice for it to be true. Every heartbeat you take here is part of that truth. Every breath you release is a soft agreement with the laws of the cosmos. You are moving differently now. Sometimes, as you float past the window, you imagine holding a clock in your hand. If there were another clock down on Earth, ticking away in a quiet room, the one in your hand would move just a little slower. To your eyes, it would seem normal. To the universe, it would be a secret rhythm, a softer beat against the background of space and time. The seconds feel stretched not because you can measure them, but because the experience of floating here is already outside the ordinary. Days and nights have lost their meaning. Sunrises flash by every 90 minutes. Sleep comes not with the setting sun, but when your body, unanchored from the planet's cues, finally gives in to rest. You realize that time is more like music than numbers. It can speed up, slow down, or stretch into silence. On Earth, the song is fast and constant. Up here, it is slow and lingering, as if every note has room to echo before the next begins. You let yourself breathe with that music. Inhale, a long, weightless moment. Exhale, a second that seems to take its time before it leaves. The invisible stretch of seconds wraps around you like a soft blanket. It is comforting to know that the universe holds you gently in this way, giving you a taste of a slower existence, even if only by the smallest margin. As the Earth's shadow begins to rise again, swallowing the sunlight, you let the thought settle deeper into your mind. Time is not a ruler. It is a river. And here in space, you are floating on its wide, slow bend, watching the water drift by. And with that, a new curiosity stirs softly, like a leaf turning in a breeze. If seconds can stretch, can your very life stretch, too? You drift along the soft rhythm of orbit, your body almost forgetting that weight ever existed. The space station hums quietly, and outside the small window, Earth spins like a delicate, glowing marble. You can almost imagine reaching out to touch it, though it is hundreds of miles away. Everything here feels suspended, not just your body, but your sense of time itself. It feels as though you have slipped into a slower stream of life. On Earth, time pushes against you constantly. You wake with alarms. You walk, drive, talk, and blink to the steady tick of seconds, one after another. Down there, life feels like standing in the center of a strong river, the water rushing around your legs, pulling you forward whether you are ready or not. But here, far above the world, the river has widened. The current has slowed. You are floating at the edge of time's flow, where the water is calm and unhurried. Seconds drift past like leaves on a still pond. Minutes seem to breathe before moving on. This is not an illusion. It is the quiet gift of speed and altitude. Orbit is a delicate balance between falling and flying. The station races forward at thousands of miles per hour, fast enough to constantly fall around the Earth without ever hitting it. That speed bends time around you. Combined with the weaker grip of gravity at this height, it pulls you into a slightly slower stream of existence. If someone were to watch your life from below, they would see it moving just a fraction differently. The difference is so small that only the universe itself seems to notice, but it is there. Your heart beats. Your cells divide. Your body ages. All of it happens a whisper slower than the same life unfolding on the ground. It makes you think about how time is usually invisible. On Earth, you feel it only through the sun's rise and fall, the schedules you follow, the clocks you trust. Here, it has become a quiet companion you can almost sense, like a gentle hand guiding you along a softer path. Floating in this slower stream, your mind begins to mirror its pace. Thoughts come without hurry. Memories rise and fall like bubbles in clear water. You notice details you might have ignored on the ground, the thin blue line of Earth's atmosphere, the way clouds cast shadows over the ocean, the faint curve of night sliding across continents. Even your breath feels like part of this slower rhythm. Inhale. A pause. Exhale. Another pause. Life feels stretched, and for the first time in a long while, you feel no urge to rush it forward. There is a strange comfort in knowing that your life is moving differently from the lives below. While people on Earth walk through streets, sit in traffic, laugh at dinner tables, their seconds fall faster. Yours are gliding. You are living inside a secret lullaby of the cosmos, a rhythm few ever get to feel. You close your eyes and let yourself imagine that river of time, flowing endlessly through the universe. You see yourself floating in its slow, sparkling bend, carried gently by the laws of nature, as though the cosmos itself is rocking you towards sleep. And as the station drifts into night once again, a new thought rises, quiet and soft, like a ripple on calm water. If time flows like a river, what happens when the river bends even more? The station glides through the darkness now, and the sunlight has vanished behind the earth. Stars emerge slowly, patient and cold, scattered across a black sky that feels deeper than anything you have ever known. There is no sound here, no wind to remind you that you are moving at all. And yet, you are racing, fast enough to circle the entire planet in just 90 minutes. Speed is invisible in space. Your body feels as if it is floating in stillness, but the universe knows the truth. You are moving so quickly that the river of time itself bends around you. Einstein once compared space and time to a single, flexible fabric. Imagine a sheet stretched across a room. When you move slowly, the fabric lies almost flat beneath you, and your journey across it feels straightforward. But the faster you move, the more your weight pulls the sheet into a curve, and the path of time itself begins to warp with it. That is what is happening to you now. Your incredible speed means that your seconds are not the same as those of someone standing still on Earth. Down there, the river of time flows straight and fast. Up here, moving so quickly around the globe, the river bends, curling around your motion. You are carried into a slightly different stream, where the current flows more slowly. The strange part is how natural it feels. Inside your own body, nothing has changed. Your heart still beats with the same steady rhythm. Your thoughts drift lazily, the way they always do when you are calm and weightless. But in the language of the cosmos, you are aging just a little more slowly. The faster you move, the more your seconds stretch. It is a small effect, fractions of a second over days and weeks, but real enough that scientists can measure it. In experiments with satellites and high-speed planes, clocks that move fast tick slower than those left behind. You are now living that experiment with every orbit. You imagine it as a dance. Time is the music, and you are moving in a circle so fast that the rhythm changes, softening around you. Down on Earth, the song plays at its normal tempo. Up here, the music drifts a little slower, like a lullaby stretching toward the edge of sleep. Outside the window, Earth glows faintly against the dark. City lights pulse below like scattered embers. The thin curve of the atmosphere glimmers, holding every life you have ever known. You feel both close to it and apart from it, as though you are living in a separate current of reality, drifting in a secret eddy of time. The motion of the station is constant, yet it feels almost meditative. There are no jolts or shakes, only the gentle sensation of floating while the world turns beneath you. And with each orbit, you are carried further into the mystery of how the universe shapes life itself. You close your eyes and let the thought sink in, speed bends the river. Motion itself can change how life flows. It is as if the universe rewards you for moving fast by giving you just a little more time, hidden in the spaces between heartbeats. As the first glow of sunrise begins to touch the edge of the horizon, a soft question forms in your mind, lingering like the last note of a song. If speed can slow your life so gently, what would happen near the heaviest places in the universe? The first edge of sunlight begins to creep through the window, turning the darkness into a deep, golden blue. You watch as the world below catches fire with morning light, the oceans glinting and clouds glowing like embers. Orbiting Earth gives you this moment 16 times a day, sunrise and sunset arriving as if time itself is quickened for the planet while it slows for you. As you float, a thought rises from the stillness of your mind: if speed can bend time like this, what about gravity? What happens near the heaviest places in the universe? Your mind drifts to black holes, those invisible giants that live in the dark. They are the ultimate storytellers of gravity. Everything about them is weight. A black hole is formed when a massive star collapses, crushing its own core under such extreme pressure that space itself curves around it, creating a pit so deep that not even light can escape. Here in orbit, you are barely beginning to notice gravity's soft influence on time. Earth is heavy, yes, but it is gentle compared to the monsters of the cosmos. Near a black hole, the pull is unimaginably strong. Imagine time as a calm river again. On Earth, the current flows steadily, bending just a little under the planet's weight. In orbit, that current slows and widens, letting you drift in a softer rhythm. But near a black hole, the river doesn't just bend, it plunges into a roaring waterfall. Time itself begins to pour downward. If you could approach a black hole, slowly, carefully, something remarkable would happen. Your life would start to stretch in ways no human could ever feel directly. To you, everything would seem normal. Your watch would tick as always. Your breath would rise and fall in its familiar rhythm. But to an observer far away, it would look as if your life had slowed to a crawl. Seconds would stretch into minutes. Minutes into hours. And if you went too close, to the edge known as the event horizon, your time would nearly stop altogether. To the universe beyond, you would appear frozen in place, suspended in a single endless moment. That is the power of weight in the cosmos. Gravity doesn't just pull on matter, it pulls on time itself. As you float in the quiet of your orbit, you can almost imagine it. A place where time is so heavy that it hardly moves. A place where the river of seconds turns into a still lake, and then, at the edge, disappears entirely into the unknown. You think about the Earth below and realize that even here, the same laws apply, just in gentler tones. The planet's weight bends time ever so slightly, making clocks on its surface run a whisper slower than the ones high above. It is all part of a single cosmic dance, a reminder that time is not rigid, but soft and flexible, like a thread pulled across the fingers of the universe. The sunlight floods the cabin fully now, and the stars fade from view. The soft hum of the station feels almost like a heartbeat. You are safe, far from any black hole, yet closer to the understanding of how they shape the cosmos. And as you watch Earth turning below, a question lingers in the back of your mind, calm and inviting. If gravity and speed can stretch your life into a slower song, could there be places where time nearly stops altogether? You drift in the soft warmth of sunlight as the station glides over another ocean, the surface glittering like a field of diamonds. Inside, everything is quiet except for the gentle hum of life support systems and the faint whisper of your own breath. Your body feels light, your mind unhurried, as if time itself is taking a deep, slow breath with you. And yet, somewhere out in the vastness beyond Earth, there are places where time nearly stops. You think back to the heaviest places in the universe, black holes. They are the ultimate masters of time. Their gravity is so strong, so absolute, that the very river of seconds bends into a near standstill at their edges. To imagine it is to imagine a world where your heartbeat stretches into eternity. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself floating near the edge of a black hole, the event horizon. You are safe for now, hovering just outside the point of no return. Around you, space seems to stretch and twist. The stars behind you appear to bend, their light curving as if painted on liquid glass. To you, everything feels normal. Your watch ticks. Your chest rises and falls. Your mind moves at its usual pace. But far away, if someone were watching you, they would see something extraordinary. Your movements would slow. Your seconds would stretch longer and longer. A wave of your hand might take hours to complete from their point of view. If you drifted just a little closer to the event horizon, your time would appear to nearly stop altogether. This is the strange poetry of the cosmos. Time is not the same everywhere. It is a river that can slow to a crawl, or even become a frozen pool when gravity pulls hard enough. Here in orbit, you only taste the faintest whisper of that effect. Your seconds are stretched, but gently. Near a black hole, time stretches to its breaking point. In a way, black holes are like cosmic mirrors showing us what spacetime is truly capable of. They reveal that time is flexible, elastic, alive. You let the image linger in your mind, a place where the universe holds you in an almost eternal pause. There is something oddly peaceful about it. A moment that lasts forever. A heartbeat that becomes a lifetime. Of course, you know that crossing the event horizon would mean vanishing into the unknown. No light escapes. No signal returns. But thinking about it from this safe distance, as Earth spins calmly below you, brings a strange kind of comfort. Even the most terrifying forces in the universe are simply part of the same quiet law that lets you float here, aging a little more slowly than everyone you left behind. You open your eyes again. The sun has slipped behind the Earth, and darkness folds over the station like a soft blanket. Stars return, brighter than ever, scattered across the blackness like grains of sugar on velvet. They remind you that time, even when it bends or slows, is always moving somewhere. Your breath deepens. Your body drifts further into that meditative stillness, as if your own seconds are learning to slow with the cosmos. And as your eyelids grow heavier, a soft question rises, warm and gentle as a lullaby. If time can nearly stop in the depths of space, what does that mean for the moments we live here and now? The station drifts through the night side of Earth, and for a moment, you feel as if you are floating through a dream. The planet below is a dark, curved canvas dotted with tiny clusters of light, cities glowing faintly like embers in a sleeping hearth. The stars beyond them are sharper than you have ever seen, untouched by air or haze, each one a perfect pinprick in the velvet black. In this stillness, you think about moments. How they come and go so quickly on Earth. A laugh with a friend. The first sip of warm tea. The sound of rain against a window. Life is full of moments that are gone almost as soon as they arrive, slipping into memory like water through your fingers. But up here, drifting in the slow river of time, every moment feels a little longer. A blink seems to hang in the air. A breath feels like a soft, floating bridge from one second to the next. It is as if the universe itself is asking you to notice, to truly sit with each small experience and let it bloom. You remember the black holes, the places where time nearly stops. Those cosmic giants are reminders that a single moment can be stretched toward infinity. For an observer far away, someone frozen at the edge of an event horizon might appear to hang there forever, caught in a moment that refuses to leave. Of course, you are nowhere near a black hole, but something about orbiting Earth gives you a hint of that feeling. The planet turns below, clouds shift, night becomes day and day becomes night, but up here, your sense of time is different. It's quieter, softer. Seconds glide past rather than fall. You imagine that every moment in life could be treated this way, like a tiny universe of its own. Even down on Earth, time flows faster, but the same laws of nature hold true. A second is not always just a second. It can feel short or long, light or heavy, rushed or eternal, depending on how you inhabit it. Perhaps this is the secret gift of time dilation, whispered to you by the cosmos. When life slows, you notice more. You notice the texture of your own thoughts. The curve of the earth outside the window. The way the sunlight returns in a sudden burst of gold as you swing back into the day side of the planet. A new sunrise floods the cabin, filling it with soft, amber light. For a heartbeat, it feels like this moment will last forever. You float, suspended in its warmth, feeling the sunlight touch your face in a way it never could through the thick air of Earth. This light has traveled across empty space, crossing 93 million miles, just to reach you here and now. And in that warm stillness, you begin to wonder if the difference between a fleeting moment and an eternal one is only in how deeply you feel it. Out here, with time moving gently around you, each experience seems to open like a slow-blooming flower. You take another breath. You let it go. You let this single moment, bathed in sunlight, fill the whole universe inside your mind. And as the station continues its silent path across the sky, a thought rises like a soft echo from the edge of space. If a single moment can feel like forever, what would it be like to carry that sense of timelessness back to Earth? The station drifts in its endless path, and you float quietly, letting the hum of the machinery and the faint vibration of air filters settle into the background. Outside the window, the Earth is wrapped in sunrise again. The thin blue edge of the atmosphere glows like a thread of silk, fragile and bright against the darkness. As you watch it, a question stirs in your mind. What would it be like to carry this feeling of timelessness back to Earth? Here in orbit, time feels softened, stretched, almost musical. Your life unfolds in a slow rhythm, each second landing gently like a feather. The rush of the world has faded. Days are no longer measured by traffic lights, alarms, or the steady hands of a clock. They are measured by 16 sunrises, by the quiet pulse of your own breath, and by the way your thoughts drift like leaves on a calm stream. On Earth, life feels different. Moments come and go before you even notice them. You wake, you move, you work, you sleep. Whole weeks can vanish into the blur of routines. Down there, gravity tugs not only on your body but on your time, anchoring you to a faster current. Seconds seem to spill away, pulled by the weight of schedules and the noise of the world. But up here, you've learned something about those seconds. They can stretch if you let them. They can open like flowers if you pause to see them bloom. Carrying timelessness to Earth would mean remembering this lesson. It would mean breathing slower, noticing the warmth of a cup of tea before sipping, feeling the wind on your face as if it were a rare gift, looking at the night sky and realizing that every star is both ancient and immediate. You close your eyes and imagine yourself stepping back onto solid ground. Gravity presses against your legs again. The air is thick with scents and sounds. Life moves quickly, as if the river of time has narrowed and the current is tugging hard. But deep inside, you would still carry the quiet rhythm of space, like a secret song. That rhythm could be as simple as a deep breath in the middle of a busy day. It could be the decision to pause before answering a question, to really taste your food, to notice the way sunlight spills through a window in the late afternoon. The timelessness you feel in orbit isn't locked to the stars. It lives in attention, in presence, in the gentle act of being fully here. You drift back to the window and watch the earth below. You can almost see your future self walking through a city street, hearing the rush of footsteps, the honk of cars, the chatter of voices, and beneath it all, the slow, calm heartbeat of the universe that you found here. The sun floods the cabin now, and the station glows like a lantern in the sky. This moment feels eternal, but you know it will pass. And yet, that is the secret. Even fleeting moments can hold eternity if you inhabit them fully. You take another slow breath and let it go. The hum of the station, the light on your skin, the curve of the world, all of it feels like a gift wrapped in stillness. And somewhere in that stillness, a soft thought drifts like a cloud across your mind. If time can feel infinite when you notice it, what other treasures might be hiding in the moments we forget to see? The earth drifts silently below you, wrapped in the deep blue of its oceans and the soft white curls of its clouds. From up here, every detail seems precious. Rivers twist like silver threads. Deserts glow like old parchment. Cities blink faintly in the night, each light a small declaration: someone is here, living this moment. Floating in orbit, you begin to sense that every second is a kind of treasure. On Earth, time can feel like a river rushing past, impossible to hold. Days blur. Moments vanish. But here, each second arrives as a gift, wrapped in stillness, waiting for you to notice it. The treasure of a second is not gold or jewels. It is the awareness that you are alive in this exact instant, breathing, floating, existing in the quiet company of the universe. 1 second contains the curve of the planet outside your window, the soft hum of the station, and the gentle rhythm of your own heart. It makes you wonder, how many seconds slip by unnoticed when life is loud and fast? You remember the way time bends, the way speed and gravity can stretch a moment in the language of physics. But here, beyond the science, you feel something simpler, a stretch that comes from attention. The moment you truly notice a second, it seems to bloom, opening into a whole little universe of experience. You close your eyes and let a single second pass slowly. You notice the way the air feels against your skin, the subtle motion of the station, the soft echo of your breath. That is the treasure, a moment fully held. The universe has always offered this gift, even on Earth. The sunrise that glows against your window pane, the laughter of someone you love, the taste of fresh fruit on your tongue, all of these are seconds that could open if you chose to linger in them. But often, life's current pulls too quickly. You wade into schedules and tasks, and the treasure slips away. Here in orbit, the current feels softer. Seconds glimmer like coins scattered across a still pond. You drift past one, pick it up with your awareness, and see that it is enough. You realize something profound. Physics can teach you that time is flexible, but presence teaches you that it is abundant. A second can feel short or long, rushed or endless. Its value comes not from how many you have, but from how fully you live the one in front of you. You open your eyes again, and Earth greets you with another quiet sunrise. The light spills across the oceans, turning them into liquid gold. You imagine the millions of people below, moving through their lives, unaware that from up here, their every moment shines like treasure against the vastness of space. A soft warmth spreads through your chest. You are not just learning the science of time, you are learning its heart. You are learning that life's greatest riches are hidden in plain sight, tucked into seconds that ask only to be seen. You let this awareness settle into you like a gentle lullaby, and you float, unhurried, feeling the slow drift of the station through the night sky. And as the stars glow a little brighter against the black, a soft, lingering thought drifts through your mind. If every second holds a hidden treasure, how rich could life become if we truly opened them all? Night has returned outside your window, and the Earth has slipped into shadow. From this side of orbit, the planet is a quiet silhouette, only its edges brushed with the faintest glow. Beyond it, the stars emerge again, sharp, steady, infinite. They do not twinkle here as they do from the ground. There is no air to bend and shimmer their light. They are pure, unwavering, as if the whole universe is holding its breath. As you watch them, you feel time slow even more. It is as though the stars themselves are teaching you a lesson in patience. They move, yes, but so slowly that their dance becomes almost imperceptible. In a single orbit of the station, Earth spins beneath you, clouds shift, and day becomes night. But the stars remain fixed, ancient, eternal, keeping their own rhythm far beyond your hurried human sense of time. It's a slow dance, one that began long before you and will continue long after. Some of the light reaching your eyes tonight began its journey thousands of years ago, before cities rose, before oceans met the shorelines you know today. By the time that light touched the glass of the station window, entire civilizations had come and gone. The stars are not just far away, they are time travelers. Looking at them is looking into the past. A simple gaze out the window connects you to moments that existed long before your own heartbeat. It's humbling and oddly comforting. In this stillness, you start to notice that time itself has layers. There's your heartbeat, the small, immediate rhythm of your life. There is the orbit of the station, carrying you around Earth every 90 minutes. There is the slow spin of the planet beneath you, turning towards sunrise and sunset. And then there's the patient dance of the stars, moving in spans of thousands or millions of years, their waltz so slow it looks like stillness. You realize that life on Earth mostly lives in the first two layers, the fast ones. You count hours and minutes, chase schedules, and rarely stop to feel the larger dance happening above you. But here, surrounded by the deep night of space, you can sense all the layers at once. You are a part of every rhythm, from the fast heartbeat of your own body to the glacial motion of galaxies swirling in the dark. You let that feeling sink in. The slow dance of the stars is a reminder that not all movement needs to be seen to be real. Some changes are so gentle, so vast, that they ask only for quiet awareness. A memory drifts into your mind, standing on Earth under a dark sky, perhaps in a place far from city lights, where the stars seemed close enough to touch. You remember how small and peaceful you felt then, as if the universe was both infinite and intimate. Floating here, that feeling deepens. Now, you are not just a spectator of the dance, you are inside it, moving with the silent music of the cosmos. Your eyes grow heavier as the stars hold their pose, patient as ever. Time feels both endless and soft, and the rhythm of your breath blends with the slow motion of everything around you. As you hover in that quiet, a gentle thought settles into your mind like a feather landing on water. If the stars can move so slowly and still shape the universe, what might happen if we let our own lives slow to their natural rhythm? The station glides effortlessly through its orbit, and you drift with it, weightless, unhurried. Inside this floating home, there is no traffic, no footsteps rushing in hallways, no ticking clocks that demand attention. The world below turns quickly, but up here, time feels like honey, slow, golden, and thick with meaning. You think about how life moves on Earth. It is full of motion, but not always the graceful kind. People hurry from one place to another, chasing moments they barely notice. Days blur, and weeks vanish like pages in the wind. It's easy to forget that time can be experienced differently, that life doesn't have to be a constant sprint. Here in orbit, you are reminded of something simple and profound. Slowing down doesn't mean stopping. It means seeing. You take a slow, deliberate breath. The air tastes recycled but clean, carrying a faint metallic tang of the station. In the quiet, you notice the subtle hum of fans, the distant vibration of machinery keeping you alive. You notice your own heartbeat, steady and patient. None of these things are new, they were always here, but slowing down allows them to emerge, like stars appearing at dusk. Outside, Earth spins silently, draped in the soft shadows of night. A streak of light catches your eye, a meteor burning in the atmosphere. It lasts only a second, but because your mind is unhurried, you feel as if that second opens wide. You see the faint trail, the delicate curve, the silent surrender of dust to fire. This is what life feels like when it slows down. Simple things expand into wonder. On Earth, slowing down might be as simple as pausing to notice the way sunlight warms your skin, or the sound of leaves shifting in the wind. It might mean watching clouds drift instead of scrolling through a screen. Or taking a longer sip of water, feeling its coolness move through your body like a soft river. Up here, slowing down feels natural. The absence of gravity frees your body from its usual weight, and the absence of noise frees your mind. It feels like the universe itself is whispering, you don't have to rush. You realize that even the cosmos moves in its own unhurried rhythm. Stars take millions of years to be born and to fade. Galaxies swirl slowly, like dancers in a silent ballroom. Black holes wait patiently, bending time without urgency. If the universe can move slowly and still create everything you see, maybe your own life doesn't need to hurry so much. You let your body relax further, every muscle softening in the gentle cradle of microgravity. The station hums around you like a lullaby. For a moment, you imagine carrying this calm back to Earth, walking through busy streets with a quiet heart, noticing the world as if time itself had widened to make room for you. Outside the window, a thin line of blue appears, Earth's atmosphere catching the first whisper of sunrise. Soon, the whole horizon will ignite in gold, a daily miracle that has been happening for billions of years, whether anyone notices or not. You watch, unblinking, as the light slowly grows, painting the curve of the planet in soft pastels. The sight is simple, and yet it feels eternal. This is what happens when you let life slow down. Every second becomes enough. And as the first beam of sunlight brushes your face, a tender thought drifts through your mind like a soft tide. If the universe never hurries and yet everything happens, what might we discover if we gave ourselves the same grace? The soft golden edge of Earth slips beneath you as the station continues its endless path, and for a moment, you feel as if you are gliding through a dream. Everything is slow, almost weightless, not just your body, but your sense of time. You float gently, your hands barely brushing the walls, and feel the subtle hum of the station beneath your fingertips. In this calm, you become aware of something invisible yet ever-present: gravity. Down on Earth, you feel it all the time, though you rarely think about it. It pulls you to the ground, holds oceans in their place, and keeps the moon dancing around the planet. But up here, its whisper feels different. You are not free from gravity. The truth is that you are always falling. The station, and you within it, are in constant freefall toward Earth. But you move so fast that you keep missing it, forever circling, forever falling. That is why you feel weightless. It is not the absence of gravity, it is the perfect harmony of motion and pull, a dance of falling that never ends. Gravity does more than hold you close to a planet. It bends the path of light, shapes the orbits of moons and stars, and even stretches time itself. You think of the heavy places in the universe, the black holes you've imagined in earlier moments, where gravity's whisper turns into a roar. There, time slows almost to a stop, caught in the invisible hand of gravity. Here in orbit, the effect is gentle. But it's still there, changing your experience in ways you cannot feel. Your clock, if compared to one on Earth, runs just a tiny bit faster because of the weaker pull. Einstein predicted this, and every orbit you take is proof. Time itself responds to the invisible tug of the universe. You close your eyes and imagine gravity as a thread woven through everything. It connects the moon to the tides, the planets to the sun, and even your floating body to the earth below. It is silent, patient, and unbreakable. Without it, the universe would scatter like a handful of sand tossed into the wind. Drifting in this awareness, you realize how gravity shapes not only the cosmos but also your perception of home. It is gravity that gives weight to your steps, that holds the oceans where they belong, that keeps mountains rooted in trees stretching upward. It is the quiet anchor that makes Earth feel like Earth. The whisper of gravity is also a whisper of time. It reminds you that every moment is connected, that the universe has a rhythm deeper than any clock. Your body floats in orbit, but your mind feels tethered to this invisible truth: nothing is ever truly separate. Everything is gently holding everything else. You open your eyes and gaze at the planet below. The blue of the oceans and the soft sweep of clouds seem closer now, as if gravity is calling you back, not urgently, but tenderly. You realize that this gentle pull, this soft invisible voice, is a reminder of belonging. No matter how far you travel, the universe always holds you. As the station drifts into shadow again and the stars return, sharp and unblinking, a soft thought rises in the quiet. If gravity can pull on time and light with only a whisper, how many other forces in life shape us in ways we cannot see? The station slips into the night side of Earth once again, and the sudden absence of sunlight feels like falling into a deep, endless ocean. The cabin lights are dim, the hum of the station soft and steady, and outside your window, the universe opens in perfect darkness. It is not the darkness of a bedroom with the faint glow of city lights, nor the darkness of a moonless forest. This is the kind of darkness that feels eternal, ancient, a silence so vast it could cradle your thoughts without ever letting them echo back. Space is an ocean of silence. It has no air to carry sound, no wind to stir a whisper. A star could explode 1,000,000 miles away, and you would never hear it. Here, sound exists only in your small pocket of life, the soft sigh of the ventilation system, the quiet rattle of your own breath, the gentle thump of your heart. Each sound feels like a private conversation between you and the universe. You let the stillness wash over you. It has a weight of its own, even without gravity. In that silence, your mind slows to match the rhythm of the cosmos. Thoughts arrive gently, one at a time, like waves on the shore of some faraway beach. This is a silence that most people never meet. On Earth, life is full of noise, engines, voices, machines, the constant murmur of existence. Even in quiet moments, there is always some background hum, the wind in the trees, the hum of electricity, the far-off rush of traffic. But up here, the silence feels infinite, and in that infinity, you sense something profound. The universe does not rush, and it does not shout. The silence also makes you aware of your own presence. Your breaths become a metronome, your heartbeat a soft drum. In this ocean of quiet, you realize how alive you are, how miraculous it is that your body hums with its own music against the backdrop of eternal stillness. As you float, you think of the astronauts who first stepped into this realm, how they must have felt hearing only themselves inside their helmets. Perhaps they also realized that silence is not empty, it is full. Full of space for thought, for wonder, for noticing the delicate threads that connect you to everything else. You remember that sound needs air, and there is none here. Even if the station collided with a small piece of space debris, the universe itself would make no sound. You would feel the vibration, see the reaction, but the cosmos would remain mute, keeping its secrets. It is as if the universe communicates not with noise, but with light and motion, with the patient turning of galaxies and the quiet birth of stars. The silence becomes a teacher. It tells you that stillness is not nothingness, it is a space where you can meet yourself. Where the layers of noise that usually crowd your life can fall away, leaving only the gentle truth of being. You let your eyelids grow heavy in the soft, endless night. Somewhere below, Earth is alive with sound, oceans crashing, leaves rustling, voices rising, but up here, you are a small island floating in the ocean of silence. And in that silence, a thought comes to rest in your mind, as soft and steady as your own breath. If the universe can speak so clearly through silence, what might we hear in our own lives if we learn to listen more deeply? You drift to the window again, where the universe speaks without sound. Out here, there are no spoken words, no familiar noises to fill the air. Instead, the cosmos speaks in light. It is the first and oldest language, and it has been traveling across the darkness for billions of years, carrying stories from distant suns and ancient galaxies. Light moves differently up here. Without an atmosphere to scatter it, every star shines with perfect clarity. There is no twinkle, no shimmer. On Earth, the air bends light like water bends a stick, making stars appear to flicker. But in orbit, light arrives as it truly is, steady, unwavering, patient. It is the purest message the universe can send. You notice the soft blue glow of Earth's edge, where the atmosphere catches the sun. It is like a whisper of color painted against black velvet, a gentle signal that your home is alive, wrapped in its delicate shield of air. Beyond that, the stars speak in brighter tongues. Some are white, others tinged with faint blue or orange. Each hue tells you something about its source, its age, its temperature, its story. The sun, even unseen, speaks too. Its light reflects off the curve of the planet, turning oceans into sheets of silver and deserts into glowing gold. Sometimes it bounces from the station's solar panels, sliding through the cabin in soft amber streaks. Every flicker, every glimmer, feels like a greeting. You realize that light is not just beauty, it is memory. Every ray that reaches your eyes has traveled across time. Some starlight left its source before humans walked the earth. Some of it comes from stars that may no longer exist, their final story still crossing the infinite black to find you here, floating in this moment. In this quiet reflection, you start to understand the intimacy of light. It is the universe sharing itself without expectation. It touches you without weight, whispers to you without sound. You think of the auroras you might see on the poles below, curtains of green and violet flowing across the night. That, too, is light speaking, telling the story of the solar wind brushing against Earth's magnetic field, painting the sky with its gentle conversation. Even the faint glimmers from satellites in distant cities tell stories. A single golden dot far below might be a street lamp on a quiet road. A moving light might be another traveler, a fellow satellite circling the same world. In every direction, light speaks, if you are patient enough to listen. You imagine bringing this awareness back to Earth, standing beneath the sky on a clear night. You would see light differently, no longer just as illumination, but as a message, evidence of a universe that is always reaching out to you. Sunlight on your face would feel like an embrace that began 8 minutes ago. The soft glow of a candle would remind you that even the smallest light can keep the darkness company. Floating in the station, you watch as Earth swings back toward dawn. A thin line of gold appears on the horizon, and soon the whole world is rimmed in fire. It feels like the planet itself is speaking now, saying, "I am here. I am alive. I am turning through the endless dark, and you are with me." The cabin fills with warm light, and you let it spill across your face, closing your eyes to feel its silent message. In this moment, you need no words. And as the station drifts onward, a soft thought glows in your mind, as steady as starlight. If light is the universe speaking, how much of life's beauty have we already heard without knowing it? The station circles silently, and once again, Earth rises into view beneath you. After so many orbits, you might think the sight would become ordinary, but it never does. Each pass reveals a new face, a new expression. Sometimes it is wrapped in soft white clouds, other times its continents and oceans appear with sharp, breathtaking clarity. No matter how many times you see it, Earth always feels like a living being, breathing slowly beneath you. You place your hand gently against the glass of the window. There is nothing but layers of metal and vacuum between you and that vibrant world. Looking down, you can almost feel your heart reaching for it. The blues of the ocean seem deeper than memory, the greens and browns of the continents like a patchwork quilt stretched over a gentle curve. Rivers twist like veins, deserts lie like sleeping giants, and mountain ranges rise like the bones of the planet. Earth feels both infinite and intimate from here. You know that below, life moves in countless rhythms. Forests whisper in the wind, waves roll endlessly to shore, and animals follow their ancient paths. Human life, too, is in motion, cities glowing like constellations at night, highways pulsing with headlights, neighborhoods buzzing with voices and laughter. And yet from here, all of it feels like one heartbeat, one shared pulse of life moving beneath you. You think about how fragile it all is. That thin blue line along the horizon, that is the atmosphere. That is every breath ever taken, every cloud that brings rain, every breeze that carries the scent of flowers in spring. It is barely the width of a thread against the endless dark. From Earth's surface, the sky feels so vast, but from here, it is delicate, like a bubble floating in space. A wave of tenderness passes through you. You think about all the moments you've lived on that planet, the first time you saw the ocean, the smell of soil after rain, the warmth of sunlight on your face on a quiet afternoon. Each memory feels small from here, and yet infinitely precious. This is home, and it carries the weight of every experience, every life, every dream. The longer you gaze, the more you feel that Earth is not just beneath you, it is part of you. Your body is made from its water, its minerals, its air. Every breath you take now is borrowed from the planet you orbit. Even your heartbeat echoes the rhythms of Earth, the rise and fall of tides, the slow turning of seasons. You are not separate. You never were. As the station continues its silent path, Earth begins to rotate away from the sun. Shadows stretch across its surface, and the first signs of night creep across the continents. City lights bloom like constellations, mirroring the stars above. It is as if the planet itself is speaking, saying, "I am alive. I am turning. I am carrying you, always." You let the sight fill your mind until it feels like your own heartbeat is pulsing with the rhythm of the spinning world. A deep calm settles over you, a mix of awe and gratitude. And as the planet slowly rolls beneath you, a thought rises with the same gentle certainty as dawn. If the earth can hold all of life so tenderly in its arms, how might we learn to hold each fleeting moment with the same care? You float, weightless, and for a moment it feels as if the station itself is drifting not through space, but through time. The hum of the life support systems fades into the background, and you become aware of the soft, steady pulse of existence flowing all around you. Time, invisible yet relentless, carries you as surely as a river carries a leaf. On Earth, time often feels like a clock ticking, a schedule waiting to be obeyed. Up here, without the familiar rising and setting of the sun in a single place, time feels different, fluid, continuous, less like a series of numbers and more like a living current. You watch it in the way the planet spins beneath you, in the slow crawl of sunlight across oceans, in the rhythm of your own breath. Your body reminds you that you are part of this river. Each heartbeat is a soft paddle stroke, moving you forward. Each inhale and exhale is a ripple in the flow. In orbit, the absence of gravity makes your heartbeat shift slightly, as if even your blood is learning a slower, gentler rhythm. You are aware of how fragile and beautiful it is to be carried along in this cosmic stream. As you stare at the blue and white world turning below, you remember that time flows differently for everyone. Astronauts, moving at extraordinary speeds, experience tiny shifts in time. A clock in orbit runs just a little differently than a clock on Earth. It is a subtle reminder of Einstein's gift to our understanding. Time is not a rigid ruler but a flexible thread, stretching and relaxing with speed and gravity. You imagine time as an endless river winding through the cosmos. Some stretches are fast and turbulent, like the busy days of life on Earth where moments collide and blur. Others are slow and reflective, like this one, where every detail seems to expand and linger. If you close your eyes, you can almost hear it, the soft, unbroken flow of time whispering past, carrying stars, planets, and lives along in its current. Floating in the quiet, you begin to wonder about your own moments in that river. How many seconds have passed unnoticed, slipping through your fingers like water? How many could have been held a little longer, savored like the first sip of cool water on a summer day, or the last slant of sunlight before dusk? In the silence of orbit, the river feels generous. It gives you a chance to slow down, to feel the water of time on your skin, to notice that every drop is unique. Even here, moving at thousands of kilometers per hour, you are allowed to drift. Allowed to remember that the river does not rush for its own sake. It simply moves, patient and eternal. Below, Earth spins steadily, and somewhere, rivers of actual water are carving paths through valleys, mirroring the unseen river of time that shapes everything. Children are taking their first steps, mountains are eroding grain by grain, and stars are burning their lifetimes away. All of it flows together, part of the same current that carries you now. You take a slow breath, letting the thought settle in your chest like a pebble sinking to the bottom of a stream. You are not outside of time, you are inside it, a part of its flow, carried like everything else. And in this stillness, you realize that the river asks nothing of you except to notice it, to feel it, to be present as it moves. As the station glides into sunlight again, a soft glow warms your face. You feel the river of time carrying you gently onward, and a tender question ripples across your mind. If each moment is a drop in this endless river, how many of them will we learn to truly hold before they drift away? The station arcs over the curve of Earth, and as you float by the window, the planet feels like a painting that constantly changes but never loses its beauty. Down there, colors are alive. Deep blues of the ocean stretch endlessly, broken by swirls of white cloud that look like gentle brushstrokes. Deserts glow in warm golds and soft reds, while green forests lie like quiet blankets over the land. From here, you see no borders, no divisions, only a living, breathing world painted in colors that shift with the light. You notice how quickly the view transforms. In just a few minutes, sunlight slides across the surface, and the colors of the planet deepen or fade like the changing tones of a song. Over the oceans, the blue can turn almost black, and the clouds become silver ribbons. Over the deserts, the sand glows like embers as the sun hits at just the right angle. It feels as if the planet is aware of your gaze and keeps offering you new shades, new moods, new reflections. On Earth, colors are tied to moments. The warm gold of a late afternoon sun, the deep green of a forest after rain, the soft pinks of a spring blossom, they are pieces of time that we hold in our memory. Up here, those same colors are both familiar and transformed. The green of a forest becomes a single sweeping patch, and the pinks of sunsets blur into thin, glowing lines along the horizon. Then comes the night side of Earth, where the colors vanish into shadow, yet they are replaced by something equally mesmerizing, the lights of human life. Cities spark like constellations, glowing amber and white, connected by faint strings of highways. Some regions pulse gently with life, while vast stretches remain dark, a reminder that Earth still holds quiet, untouched places. And above it all, the universe offers its own palette. The black of space is deeper than any black on Earth, infinite and absorbing. Against it, the stars are brilliant white, sometimes with hints of blue or gold, and the soft wash of the Milky Way lies like a veil of silver dust. The contrast makes Earth's colors feel even more alive, as if the planet is a small lantern in an endless sea of night. You think about how color is more than sight, it's an emotion, a memory, a rhythm. Blue can feel calm, like floating in the ocean of space. Gold can feel warm, like the memory of sun on your skin. Green carries the scent of life, the sound of leaves shifting in the wind. Up here, the colors are silent, but they still speak to you. They remind you that even from this distance, Earth is vibrant and alive, carrying the stories of oceans, mountains, and all the lives that move beneath them. You close your eyes for a moment and imagine what the colors mean to the people below. Someone is watching a sunrise right now, unaware that you see the same light from above. Someone is walking through a field of green, while to you it appears as a soft patch on the globe. Life continues in every shade, a painting in motion. As the station drifts onward, you catch a glimpse of the atmosphere glowing at the edge of the planet, a thin line of blue, fading into purple, then into the black of space. It is delicate and breathtaking, a reminder of how small and beautiful home really is. You let your gaze linger, letting the colors soak into your memory like water into sand. And as the horizon brightens with the promise of another orbit, a gentle thought moves through you like a whisper of wind. If the world can carry so many colors in constant motion, how many moments of beauty pass through our lives unnoticed, waiting for us to truly see them? You drift in the quiet cabin, feeling your chest rise and fall in a rhythm older than thought. Each breath is soft, measured, effortless, as if your body has found the natural pace of the cosmos. Up here, Without the weight of the world pressing on you, breathing feels like a conversation with the universe. Inhale, exhale, a gentle exchange of life. On Earth, you rarely notice this constant miracle. The air is everywhere, invisible, taken for granted. But in orbit, you are reminded of its rarity. Beyond the walls of the station, there is nothing to breathe, only the silent vacuum of space, where sound cannot travel and lungs would find no comfort. Here, every breath you take is a gift carefully carried from home, recycled and purified by machines humming in the background. You inhale slowly, letting the oxygen touch every corner of your lungs, and exhale even slower. Your body relaxes a little more with each cycle. The air feels cool and clean, tinged with the faint metallic scent of the station, and you imagine the molecules flowing through you, oxygen born in the heart of a star long ago, now keeping you alive. Breathing in space is an act of trust. You trust the systems around you, the engineers who built them, the science that keeps life possible in a place where life is not meant to survive. And as you float weightless, your own breath reminds you of a larger truth. Life itself is a delicate rhythm, maintained by forces you cannot see but always feel. Your mind drifts to Earth's great lungs, the forests and oceans that breathe for the planet. Trees pulling in carbon dioxide, exhaling oxygen. Ocean plants, too small to see, filling the air with the invisible gift of life. Every breath you take here is a quiet echo of that global rhythm, a connection you carry even so far from home. You notice that as you focus on your breathing, your thoughts slow. The world outside the window, blue and white and endlessly turning, moves at its steady pace, and you feel yourself sinking with it. Inhale. Exhale. The planet spins. The station glides. Somewhere below, waves rise and fall with the tides, matching the pull of the moon. Everything is breathing. There is a calm that comes with this awareness. The universe does not rush. Stars burn in patient silence. Planets turn without hurry. Even black holes, the most mysterious hearts of gravity, take their time bending the paths of light. And here you are, a small traveler in orbit, breathing in harmony with it all. You take another long, slow inhale and imagine that you are breathing not just air, but starlight, history, and possibility. You exhale and imagine sending back a soft thank you to the universe for allowing this fragile miracle to continue. The cabin lights dim slightly as the station drifts into Earth's shadow again. Outside, the stars sharpen in the darkness, and the curve of the planet becomes a silhouette against the infinite black. You close your eyes for a moment, floating in stillness, and feel your breath as both anchor and wing. Somewhere deep in the rhythm of your lungs, a gentle thought forms, soft and certain as the night. If life is only a series of borrowed breaths, how much more precious does each one become when we finally notice it? The station glides into another orbit, and the line between night and day sweeps across the Earth like a slow, silent tide. From up here, you can see the shadow of the planet moving across its own surface, a living boundary called the Terminator. One side is bathed in golden sunlight, the other sleeps in the cool embrace of night. Between them, a soft gradient of twilight stretches like a ribbon, marking the endless dance of shadows. You watch as the sun dips behind the curve of the Earth, and for a brief moment, the world glows with fire. The edges of clouds ignite in orange and pink, mountains cast long, delicate shadows over valleys, and rivers catch the last light like strands of silver. Then, almost without warning, the sunlight is gone, and night swallows half the planet in a single, graceful gesture. Shadows are different in space. They are sharp, unsoftened by air. On Earth, the atmosphere scatters light, creating gentle edges, blurs, and glows. Here, in the vacuum, a shadow is absolute, pure black against the brilliant white of sunlight. You can see it on the station itself. When your hand drifts into the path of the sunbeam coming through the window, the line it casts is knife-sharp, as if the universe has drawn it with perfect intention. The dance of shadows reminds you that everything in the universe is moving, always. The earth spins, casting its own body against the sun's light. The moon, though unseen at the moment, is tracing its path, pulling and being pulled, sending its own faint shadow across the cosmos in delicate eclipses. Even your tiny station, though silent and still to your senses, is racing through space at thousands of kilometers per hour, weaving your shadow into this grand choreography. Down below, life follows these shadows, often without noticing. Flowers turn to the sun, then fold in darkness. Animals wake, sleep, and hunt according to the slow rhythm of light and shadow. Human life, too, bends to it, curtains drawn at night, lights switched on in the dark, mornings full of yawns and coffee cups as the first sunlight breaks through. You imagine what it would feel like to stand in one of those shadows on Earth right now. Maybe in a quiet forest, the night cool and full of crickets. Maybe in a city street, where your shadow stretches under a street lamp, part of a web of moving silhouettes. Up here, though, shadows feel different. They are not interruptions of light, but reminders of it. As the station drifts forward, the first hints of dawn appear along the horizon. It happens fast in orbit. Sunsets and sunrises are compressed into minutes rather than hours. A thin line of orange and red appears, then grows, until the sun bursts free from the edge of the planet, flooding the cabin with warm, pure light. Shadows vanish instantly, as if they were never there. Floating in that light, you feel a quiet awe. Shadows and light are partners, each defining the other. Without shadow, there would be no contrast, no depth, no understanding of how light moves. Without light, shadows would not exist at all. Together, they write the slow poetry of the day. You take a deep breath, letting the sun warm your face, and watch as the planet spins beneath you, sending its shadows into motion again. A thought comes softly, like the end of a whispered lullaby. If shadows only exist because of light, how often do we forget that every dark moment is proof that light is still near? The hum of the station is the only sound in your ears, soft and steady like a mechanical heartbeat. Beyond its walls, the universe is silent. Perfectly, impossibly silent. You float near the window and look into that silence, a vast black canvas sprinkled with stars. It is a strange thing, to witness so much motion without a single note of sound. Planets spin, meteors streak, stars burn with unimaginable force, and yet, nothing reaches your ears. On Earth, silence is never complete. Even in the quietest forest, you can hear the whisper of wind in the leaves, the distant call of a bird, the crunch of your own footsteps. In space, silence is absolute. There is no air to carry sound. If a star exploded a few light years away, it would remain forever mute to you, its drama written only in light. You begin to realize that silence is not empty, it is full. It holds the weight of everything you can see, and everything you cannot. The stars outside your window are singing in their own language, in frequencies of light and radiation that your ears will never hear. The sun hums in vibrations that ripple across the solar system, and distant galaxies send whispers across space-time, carrying secrets of their beginnings. If you had the right instruments, the cosmos would be a symphony of quiet frequencies, each note older than humanity itself. Your own body joins this silent orchestra. You feel the rhythm of your heartbeat, the rise and fall of your chest. You imagine the blood in your veins moving like a soft percussion, your breathing like a slow wind instrument. Up here, with no background noise of daily life, you can hear yourself as part of the music. Even the station contributes to the silent symphony. The gentle vibration of the life support fans, the faint clinks of metal contracting as temperatures shift, the distant whir of a circulating pump, all of it becomes part of a calm, mechanical lullaby. It is not the kind of sound that demands attention. It is the kind that wraps around you, soft and protective, letting your thoughts drift outward. As you watch the earth spin silently below, you realize that life is full of music we rarely notice. Waves crash, wind sighs through grass, rain taps against windows, all reminders that our home planet is alive and resonant. The absence of that sound now makes every memory of it feel precious. You think of walking along a beach, the hush of waves meeting sand. Of hearing someone you love laugh in a quiet room. Of a distant train rumbling at night, reminding you that life is moving just beyond your view. The longer you float in the station's quiet, the more you understand that silence is its own form of music. It is not empty, it is space for reflection. It is the breath between heartbeats, the pause between notes in a song. Without it, life would be nothing but noise. You let the stillness fill you, letting your mind become wide and weightless, like the space outside. The stars do not speak, and yet they say everything. The earth does not make a sound as it spins, and yet its movement feels like a lullaby. Even your own breath, slow and steady, is a reminder that silence is never truly empty, it always carries life inside it. As you close your eyes, a final thought glides through you like a soft, unspoken note. If the universe can play its symphony without a single sound, how much of life's beauty might we only hear when we finally learn to listen in the quiet? The station drifts through night, and for a moment, it feels as though the stars have frozen. They hang in the blackness with such patience, so calm and unmoving, that you could believe time itself has paused. Against the perfect dark, each one is a point of light older than imagination. Some of those stars burned their first fires before the earth was even born. Others may have already gone dark, their light only now reaching your eyes, carrying a message from the deep past. You press your forehead lightly against the window and let your gaze wander. On Earth, stars twinkle and shift with the shimmer of the atmosphere. Up here, they are sharp and unwavering, like tiny diamonds pressed into an endless velvet sky. They are steady companions, immune to the spinning of the world below or the racing of your own heart. Time feels different when the stars seem still. Each breath slows. Your thoughts untangle and drift like the soft strands of a dream. You imagine floating in that space, moving from star to star, yet knowing you would never feel the distance closing. Light years stretch like oceans, and in the grand scale of the cosmos, even your swift orbit is barely a ripple. You think of the people on Earth who once looked up at these same stars. Ancient travelers crossing deserts by starlight, sailors reading the night sky to guide them home, poets and storytellers spinning myths out of the constellations. Those points of light have been the most faithful witnesses to human life, watching silently as generations lived, loved, and passed beneath them. Up here, their presence feels personal. They are not just lights, they are reminders of vastness, of patience, of the slow, steady heartbeat of the universe. Their stillness tells a truth you can feel in your bones. Life is brief, fragile, and yet part of something enduring. A soft glow rises from Earth's edge, the faint line of its atmosphere catching sunlight before the planet itself does. Soon, you will slip back into daylight, and the stars will fade into the background. But for now, in this small stretch of darkness, they feel eternal. You let yourself imagine that each star is a story, a silent letter sent across space. Perhaps some hold planets circling in quiet solitude. Perhaps some of those planets carry oceans, mountains, and winds like your own world. Maybe, somewhere, someone else looks up from a distant surface and sees your sun as just another star in their night sky. The thought settles into your mind like a soft blanket. The universe is vast, and yet connected. You are part of this tapestry, a single thread in a fabric woven of starlight and silence. The station moves, but the stars do not. Their stillness is not true, of course. They race through space faster than you can comprehend. Yet from here, in this moment, they seem content to simply be, and their calm seeps into you like water into dry soil. You close your eyes for a heartbeat, memorizing this feeling, the weightless quiet of existing under an infinite ceiling. When you open them again, the stars have not changed, as if holding the moment just for you. And as the first hint of dawn begins to rise on the curve of the earth, a tender question surfaces in your mind, soft as the fading night. If the stars can move for billions of years and still appear so calm, how might we learn to carry that same stillness within our own fleeting lives? You float, barely aware of your own body, and for the first time, you truly understand what it means to be weightless. It is not just the absence of gravity, it is the feeling that nothing is holding you down, that you are part of the air, part of the space around you. Your arms drift without effort, your legs find no floor to press against, and your thoughts seem to float along with you. On Earth, weight is a constant companion. You feel it in the way your feet meet the ground, in the subtle pull on your muscles, in the way your shoulders carry the day. Even lying in bed, your body sinks into the mattress, aware of the invisible force that ties you to the planet. Here, that invisible hand has let go. The sensation is not falling, not flying, it is simply being, suspended in a quiet where your body no longer argues with the world. The weight of nothing feels like freedom, but also like a reminder. Your bones and muscles were built for gravity, for a world where you belong to the ground. Without it, your body begins to change in small, silent ways. Muscles relax too much. Bones lose their density, whispering to your cells that the world they knew has vanished. It is a trade, a soft drifting now, for the work your body will have to do later to remember how to stand. Floating in the cabin, you let your eyes wander to the window. Earth spins below, carrying oceans and mountains that feel impossibly heavy compared to your own drifting form. Entire continents move with a grace you cannot feel on the ground. From up here, the planet is a weightless jewel, balanced perfectly in the dark. You stretch out a hand and imagine touching the nothingness outside. Space has no air to press against your skin, no resistance, no warmth. It is pure emptiness, and yet, it holds everything. Galaxies, planets, the station itself, all suspended in this vast, invisible sea. You are inside the weight of nothing, and yet surrounded by all the mass and movement of the cosmos. Your mind drifts to the things that feel heavy in life, not physical objects, but moments, memories, responsibilities. The weight of worry, of regret, of expectation. On Earth, they cling to you, as real as any stone. But here, for a little while, they loosen their grip. There is no schedule in the quiet hum of orbit, no gravity to drag your thoughts down. The weight of nothing offers you a gift, space to simply exist, to feel the lightness of being alive without the usual pull of the world. Even the station itself seems to understand this dance. It is a massive machine, yet it floats as if it has surrendered to the emptiness around it. Everything here survives by balancing trust and precision, a fragile harmony that lets humans taste the freedom of the void without being swallowed by it. As you drift towards sleep, you notice that your own heartbeat feels softer in this lightness, as if even your blood has learned to flow more gently. The hum of the station fades to a lullaby, and your body forgets that weight ever existed. Beyond the window, Earth rotates into sunlight again. A new orbit begins, as steady and certain as your next breath. You feel yourself carried forward, light as a feather, wrapped in the comforting arms of nothing. And as you close your eyes, a thought floats up in your mind, delicate and unhurried. If letting go of weight can feel so free, how many invisible burdens on Earth could we release, if we only learned to drift for a while? You float near the window again, and the Earth curves below you like a painting brushed onto a sphere. It moves slowly, steadily, carrying days and nights across its face. You think about how, down there, people walk on flat streets and live under flat skies, and yet, from here, the planet is round and complete. And as you watch it turn, another curve comes to mind, one you cannot see, but can feel, the curve of time itself. Time, you realize, is not a straight road. Einstein whispered this truth to the world long ago: time bends, stretches, and curves around gravity. Down on Earth, time is held tightly by the planet's pull. Your feet press against the ground, and your heartbeat moves to the rhythm of Earth's weight. But up here, where the pull is softer, time flows just a little differently. You imagine the seconds of your life as small, clear beads sliding along an invisible string. On Earth, the string is slightly taut, held down by gravity. Up here, it sags and stretches, and the beads drift along it more slowly, almost lazily. You are still aging, still moving forward, but just a whisper behind the people below. It is so subtle that no one would notice, yet the universe keeps its careful account. This is the gentle wonder of time dilation. When you orbit the Earth, your speed and the weakened gravity combine to make your clock tick just a little slower than the clocks in the cities far below. You will return to that world fractionally younger than you would have been if you had never left. It is like carrying a secret gift from the cosmos, a handful of borrowed moments that exist only because you drifted through the sky. You close your eyes and picture the curve of time like a river winding through the universe. Around massive stars and black holes, it bends sharply, pulled by the weight of their existence. Around Earth, it makes a softer arc, a gentle bend that carries you through your orbits with a calm persistence. Floating here, you are like a leaf on that river, carried by a current you cannot see but trust completely. The curve of time is also the curve of memory. You think about the moments that feel longer when they are full of wonder, and the moments that vanish in a blink when life becomes busy and distracted. Up here, time feels slow and wide, like the sky itself. Each sunrise, each soft shadow over the planet, each turn of the Earth beneath your feetless body stretches into something memorable. And yet, time is always moving, always flowing. You imagine people on Earth right now, making coffee, rushing through traffic, laughing with friends, reading to a child before bed. Their lives are moving along a slightly different stream, but all of you are connected in the same vast river that winds through the universe. You watch the curve of the horizon, the soft blue atmosphere fading into black. It feels like a clock of its own, the planet spinning, the sun rising and setting 16 times a day for you. Your sense of time bends along with space itself, a reminder that everything you thought was fixed can be softer, more fluid than you ever imagined. As your eyes grow heavier, you take a slow breath and let the thought settle like a feather in your mind. If time can bend and slow for those who drift, how many moments on Earth could we stretch, if we simply allowed ourselves to pause and float in our own lives? The cabin lights are dim, and the only glow comes from the wide window. You drift closer, letting your hands graze the edge, and then it happens, the Earth begins to rise. Not in the way the sun rises on your home planet, where the horizon greets it with a steady pull, but in a slow, silent unfolding, as if the universe itself is turning a page. From the moon, astronauts once called this moment Earthrise. But even from your orbit, circling the planet again and again, the feeling is the same, wonder that this living, breathing world could appear so delicate, so impossibly small against the backdrop of infinite black. It begins as a curve of deep blue emerging from darkness. You see the faint glow of the atmosphere first, a thin, fragile line hugging the planet like a whisper of protection. Then, the continents appear, painted in browns and greens, with white clouds swirling like slow brushstrokes. Oceans follow, reflecting the sun with a soft silver gleam. It feels like watching a memory form, like seeing a dream take shape in the distance. The Earth rises slowly, and you feel your own breathing match its pace. Inhale as the curve brightens. Exhale as the first rays of sunlight touch the clouds. The motion is so smooth that time itself feels like it is stretched, letting you savor every detail. You think about the people living on that world below. Right now, someone is walking down a city street without looking up. Someone is cooking dinner, a child is laughing, a bird is cutting across a morning sky. Life moves quickly down there, unaware of how fragile and beautiful it looks from here. Weightless, you feel like a quiet witness to a secret. The Earth seems both strong and soft, spinning endlessly, carrying rivers, mountains, and lives that never pause. You imagine holding it in your hands, a marble suspended in the dark, and realize how easily it could be overlooked in the immensity of the universe. And yet, to you, it is everything, home, memory, and story all in one. The station drifts, and the sun lights up the world more fully. Seas turn blue, cities glint faintly, and storms spiral in silent choreography. From here, even the most powerful weather is just a swirl of white and gray, gentle and almost tender. You remember that the Earth is alive in ways that go unnoticed when your feet are pressed to its surface, breathing in forests, pulsing in tides, humming in the deep vibrations of its core. As Earthrise continues, the planet completes its quiet performance. It does not rush. It does not need to. Its grace lies in its patience, in the reminder that beauty is often slow, and wonder takes time to settle into the heart. You think of the first humans who saw this view, how their hearts must have stilled the same way yours does now. They spoke of it as life-changing, as if seeing the whole world in one glance rewrote the story of being human. Floating here, watching the blue planet climb against the black canvas of space, you understand. The moment feels endless, but you know it will pass. Soon, the station will tilt, the curve will shift, and the Earth will slide out of view again. But the memory will remain, like a soft light behind your eyes, reminding you that home is both vast and fragile, spinning quietly in a universe that listens without a sound. And as you let your eyelids grow heavy, one last thought glides gently into your mind, almost like the rising planet whispering to you. If Earth can rise so slowly and still take your breath away, what other moments in life might reveal their beauty, if only we learn to look long enough. The station glides effortlessly in its path, and through the window, the sun begins to appear again. Up here, the day and night are not the slow dances you know from Earth. They are fleeting, almost playful, sunlight and darkness chasing each other around the curve of the planet like children in a game. 16 times a day, the sun rises and sets for you, never in the same place, never quite in the same way. This time, the sun peeks over the horizon like a shy performer, first casting a thin gold line along the Earth's edge. The light curves across the atmosphere, turning the thin blue shell into a halo. You are caught in the quiet magic of it, a reminder that the planet below is not flat but round, always turning, always moving. Then, the sun bursts free, and the world is awash in color. The oceans shimmer like liquid glass, and clouds bloom in pink and orange. From up here, sunrise does not simply arrive, it floods. It pours light across the planet in a sweep, and for a moment, you are suspended between the shadows of night and the brilliance of day. Chasing the sun in orbit is unlike anything on Earth. On the ground, the sun is patient, predictable. Here, it is lively, restless. One moment, the cabin is bathed in pure white light, the next, it fades into soft twilight. Your sense of time stretches and bends, no longer bound to the rhythm of the familiar 24-hour day. You think of the people below, waking to alarms, stepping into the same gentle sunrise they have known all their lives. They do not see it as you do. From above, the light is a wave rolling across the surface of a living globe. Mountains catch the first fire. Rivers glint like tiny threads of silver. Cities wake like constellations, trading electric light for sunlight as if passing a torch. As you watch the sun slide higher, you notice the thin shadows cast by the station's frame. They are razor-sharp, unsoftened by any atmosphere. The sunlight is raw, unfiltered, and it makes everything feel vivid. You realize how much the Earth shields its life from the full force of this star, wrapping the world in a soft veil of air that turns harsh light into warmth. The station continues its silent journey, and soon the sun begins to angle away. Day fades into a swift, beautiful dusk. The colors are richer than any sunset you remember from Earth, the horizon bleeding into purples and deep blues before surrendering to black. Stars appear again, one by one, as if the universe is slowly stitching its own quilt. In the quiet, you feel a soft lesson settle over you. The sun does not truly rise or set, it is the motion of the world, of you, that makes the light appear to move. All of life is like this, you realize. The things we chase are often steady, it is we who orbit, we who circle, bringing moments of brightness and shadow into our own lives. The sun disappears completely, and night wraps around you again. Inside the cabin, the air hums softly, and the darkness outside feels like a velvet blanket, deep and comforting. Your eyelids grow heavier, and the memory of the light lingers like a warm afterglow on your skin. A gentle thought drifts in as you hover on the edge of sleep. If the sun is always there, waiting for the world to turn toward it, how many moments of light in life are already waiting, if only we pause long enough to face them? The station moves with a rhythm so smooth, so constant, that you barely feel it. And yet, you are circling an entire planet at thousands of kilometers per hour, tracing the same invisible path over and over. This is the whisper of orbits, a soft, steady dance that keeps you suspended between falling and flying. An orbit is like a secret agreement with gravity. On Earth, gravity keeps your feet on the ground, pulling you down with a force you can feel. Up here, You are always falling toward the planet, but you are moving forward so fast that the curve of your fall matches the curve of the Earth. You miss the ground with every heartbeat, and in missing it, you stay aloft. It feels like magic, but it is really a balance older than the human race. Moons follow it, circling their planets. Planets follow it, circling their suns. Stars themselves dance in orbits around the centers of galaxies, which spin like slow, glittering pinwheels. Everywhere in the universe, motion is guided by the quiet pull of gravity and the graceful paths it creates. You press your hand against the window and imagine tracing your orbit with your finger. You've made the circle so many times that you could almost see it in your mind, a band wrapping around the Earth, connecting night to day, ocean to desert, city to wilderness. Each pass feels the same and yet new. A different cloud drifts across a mountain range. A river sparkles in a light that wasn't there the last time you came by. Orbits are patient things. They do not hurry. They do not argue with the laws of physics. They simply follow the paths carved for them by mass and motion. Even the station's hum seems to understand this patience, as if the whole structure is exhaling in time with the curve of its flight. Your own body has started to learn this rhythm. Sleep comes when it comes, not by clocks but by the gentle cycles of day and night sliding across your window 16 times a day. Meals are the same, a bite of food, a sip of water, and back to floating, back to following the endless path that wraps around your home. You think of all the orbits you can't see. The moon tracing its soft silver path around the Earth. The Earth spinning its wide, slow circle around the sun. The sun itself moving through the Milky Way, pulling its planets like a cosmic necklace. And beyond that, the galaxy drifts around the invisible heart of the universe, joining an orbit too vast for human eyes to ever witness fully. There is something comforting in this layered dance, like a lullaby repeated across scales too large to measure. Even here, in a place that feels so empty and quiet, you are part of a grand, unbroken motion. You are never truly still. You are part of the cosmic current, moving to the universe's silent music. Outside, the stars remain fixed in the darkness, but you know the truth, they, too, are moving. Every world, every particle, every tiny mote of dust is on a journey, circling, falling, rising again. Orbits are the handwriting of the universe, the loops and curves that record the story of motion without ever lifting the pen. As you close your eyes, you imagine your own orbit, not just here in space, but in life, circling through days, returning to familiar places, and yet always moving forward. The station's path continues beneath you, steady and calm, and you feel yourself rocking in its endless cradle. A single thought drifts into the quiet, soft as the curve of your flight. If every orbit is just a fall that never ends, how many gentle paths in life are guiding us, even when we feel like we're floating through the dark? The last light of the sun has slipped behind the curve of the Earth, and you are alone with the endless night. Out here, night is not the soft, familiar darkness of Earth, with its warm glow from street lamps and windows. This is a pure, deep black that stretches in every direction, infinite and silent. It is a darkness so complete that it feels like you are floating inside a dream, or perhaps, inside the universe's own breath. The stars appear sharper in this night, like someone has polished them. They do not flicker the way they do from the ground, the atmosphere isn't here to bend their light. They are steady, unblinking, ancient. Some of them are so far away that the light reaching your eyes began its journey before humans had words to describe the sky. A few of those stars may already be gone, their light just a memory traveling through space. The night is both present and history, all at once. You think about how small you are in this vast darkness. The station hums gently, your only companion in the void. Your heartbeat is steady, slow, as if it has matched the tempo of the cosmos. The endless night does not judge, does not hurry, does not demand anything from you. It simply holds you, the way the ocean holds a drifting boat. Far below, half the world sleeps under its own version of night. Cities glow faintly, like embers scattered across a black sheet. You can see the thin, curling shape of coastlines lit by human life, the faint web of civilization clinging to the surface of the planet. From here, the noise and rush of that world seem impossibly far away, like a dream you once had but cannot fully remember. The endless night above invites you to let go of thought. It is the perfect silence for reflection, the kind that softens sharp edges in the mind. You think about time, how slowly it passes here, how softly it bends when you leave the ground. You think about gravity, that invisible tether that let you slip free but never truly releases its hold. And you think about home, spinning below, carrying everyone you've ever known in its quiet orbit through space. Every so often, a faint streak crosses the dark, a tiny meteor, burning itself out long before it can reach the ground. In this vastness, even destruction looks gentle. The night takes everything in stride, holding it all without interruption. Out here, you begin to understand that the universe is patient beyond imagination. Stars are born and die, planets form and crumble, and yet the night remains, watching. Your eyelids grow heavy as you let your thoughts drift with the stars. This blackness does not feel empty anymore. It feels full, full of history, full of motion, full of quiet truths. It is the kind of night that reminds you that life, fragile as it is, belongs to something infinite. The station glides onward, and the earth begins to roll its curve into view again. Soon, another sunrise will bloom along the edge of the planet, painting the thin atmosphere in pink and gold. But for now, you remain in the soft embrace of the endless night, floating in the cradle of space, wrapped in a silence older than the world below. And as you drift towards sleep, one last gentle thought settles in your mind, like a whisper from the dark itself. If the night can hold the entire universe without fear or hurry, perhaps we, too, can learn to rest in its quiet, and simply be.